I guess we're doing okay. Been a little icy around here, and so it's, like I say, it's winter, and I'd rather be in a cave until spring, but I guess that isn't possible. So anyway, but so did you? I was just going to ask. Do you remember Nadine Hammond? Wasn't she Roberts?
Yes, she was a Roberts. She was Earl Roberts's daughter.
Right.
Yeah, married Guido Hammond.
She did. And I was just kind of curious if he was related to you.
Yes, it's distance.
That was another distance.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that came up. I also sent a picture from Kathy longest, what was her last? I can't think. Wolf. She was in Florida, but I know you guys have talked about Julian longest, and that was her youngest daughter. And I didn't know if you got it or not.
What was that again?
I sent a picture out of English. The Kathy Longest Wolf from Florida and North Carolina sent a few years ago. And I don't know if everybody got it. I think maybe I had too many people that I, listed on there, and you might not have gotten it, but so I may have to try it again someday.
Okay.
Have you heard from anybody else? Are they going to be joining us?
Garden Husk is on there.
I finally got back on. I couldn't get any volume out of my laptop, so I had to go to the phone.
So how are you, Mr. Husk?
I'm about the same as we say down home.
You're about the same.
About the same.
Well, it's not worse, so that makes sense.
That's a plus.
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes we need to go back to the two tin cans and a string.
Be a long distance, to say the least.
Are you doing well?
Well, yeah, it's cold here, but like I say, I noticed some of the weather reports around there indicated that, just a second here, I'm getting some feedback, indicated you guys, I think, are having colder weather than we are.
It's been cold.
We had a little snow 2 days ago, but it's gone now. It's rained last night.
Well, so yeah, well, when it rains here and everything's so cold, it just freezes, and that's what it did this morning. So when it does, I stay in.
We've had some bad accidents up here around Lebanon.
This is Lebanon, Indiana?
Yes.
Okay.
On Interstate 70 west of here, a car rolled over several times, killed 3 people, and there was one teenager, I think, survived, and probably non-life-threatening injuries, but the 3 adults were killed in the car.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's terrible.
So
Hi, Vic.
Oh, Bob,
How's Victor?
I'm doing okay. How's Bob and Gordon? And
Oh, yeah, we had a little snow, but it's disappeared last night with the rain and stuff. But today it was about 43, but it's getting a little colder as we go. Hey, I was just wondering, I was messing around doing a lot of work and everything, and I missed that Indiana game. How'd they come out?
I didn't see it.
know.
I don't want to know, huh?
No, they lost 3 points to 22. You're talking football, aren't you?
No, we're talking basketball.
Oh, you're talking basketball.
Basketball, they won. They won, Bob. I don't know how much.
But they beat Minnesota.
Yes.
Well, they knocked off Ohio State few
Oh, now wait a
nights
minute.
ago.
That's who I'm talking about, Ohio State. I don't know about Minnesota.
Well, Minnesota, they played their day at 12.
Minnesota today.
They played at 12 o'clock today. And I missed it. I was doing my chores, and when I clicked on, got to look in the paper, and they played at 12 o'clock. So I missed it. I thought maybe some of you guys might have been watching.
No,
I watched it. They won 73-60.
Well, that's
Oh.
good, Bob.
all right.
I'm glad somebody picked it up.
And we don't have John Flanigan, do we?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Stuff. But,
Well, I've just got 5 o'clock. Is that what you guys have?
Yeah.
at 5 o'clock. It's a couple minutes after 5.
Hmm.
I had something I dug up and everything here that you can tell me, Vic, when I get this thing where he's due, but the notation on said this photo was made about 1904 in front of Ben Temple's hardware store and stuff and things that as you tell me if you can look and see if I get it right. I'll keep on going up till you get a picture of it.
Okay, hold it right there.
Okay.
Bring it down just a little. Okay, and hold it right there. Store for.
Yeah, they had people in there, Sam Lambden and Felix and Guido Hammonds, Guy Longus.
Okay, bring it up about 4 inches. A little more. Now, how many of those people did you know, Bob?
Well, I knew several of them and
Yeah.
stuff. Doc Leeser was in there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Ernest Doc Leeser and Charlie Landis.
Oh,
And,
Landis, sure.
the two Hammond brothers, Tom Austin
Yeah.
stuff, and John Jones. But I just thought you'd be interested in looking.
Absolutely.
Captain Jack Goodwin was in there. That he was one who brought the courthouse.
Captain Jack.
Yeah, he
Was
was kind of in the back row there, I think.
Now, there was a Captain Jack that led the English group down to Leavenworth to get the records for the county seat.
Yeah, I just thought you might like to look at that stuff. I had it there. I
Absolutely.
found in some of my memoirs, and while we're trying to wait and everything, here's another one. This is when they were building the bridge there in English in 36. You can see part of the honky tonk and that house that's set up on the hill across the railroad track.
The McMail house.
That's where that was on Camp Fork,
Okay,
right
bring
there
it.
in Main Street.
Absolutely. Bring it down about 3 inches. Right there. Yeah, that's the McMail house up on the hill.
Yeah, and that's when they were digging it out to make that bridge in 36.
Sure. Now, do you remember that, Bob?
Oh, yeah, and
Okay.
I came down there when they opened it up. They had 2 square dances.
Well,
One was in front of the theater, and the other was up there where Main Street and Fifth Street crosses.
and I see the mill. The mill is over to the right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And
But
I
I
think
thought
that's
you might enjoy that and stuff.
absolutely.
And had another one there that this is my last one and stuff, but this was probably just when they had that finished. You used to have to go up steps and all the places on Main Street. And this is when it's kind of level up there and everything. But this is taken,
Can you pull it up just a bit?
can you
Higher.
see that?
All we can see is sky.
You want it up or down?
Well, I'm not sure which way. All we can see is sky.
Oh, okay.
Now I'm seeing light
Down,
poles.
down a little more.
Keep it coming. We can't get to the bottom yet. You haven't gotten to the bottom of the picture.
You want me to go up or down?
No, you
Go
need to go,
up.
you need to go up now, Bob. Up a little more, right there, right there.
Okay.
Yep,
That's,
Oh, I love that one.
yeah, that's a picture of Main Street. You can kind
That's
of
a
see
good
part of
picture.
the JC sign.
yep. There's the bank on the left.
Uh-huh.
Now, do you know who, Bob,
looks
do you
like
know
a-
do you know who built that bank, Bob Roberts?
The what?
Do you know who built the English State Bank?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, right there in the corner, and those cars looks like, they're probably, one of them looks like about a 36 Plymouth or something.
Yep.
There's a wagon sitting over there. Yeah, I thought you guys would enjoy that. Hi, John.
Hi, John Flanigan.
Hello there. Just got off of my other meeting.
Okay.
Were you talking to your brother?
Yeah, I am, and the other relatives get on every Sunday Zoom time.
How's your brother doing?
Well, it's hard to tell. He's just very quiet. He sits there in his chair and with his blanket over, and he responds to questions. Never
So
brings.
he's responding to if somebody says something to him.
If somebody says something to him, he says what, and then Mandy interprets it and tells him what she's, and then he responds, says, "Oh, I don't remember anything."
Yeah. Now, Timothy Eade sent that. Can you see this picture? It's on my phone. I doubt if you can see it. You see that, Bob Roberts?
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. I see the people there at the drugstore
That's in front of Bill Patton's drugstore,
in
isn't it?
front of Bill Patton's, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you can't tell who the people are, though.
No.
That was sent to me a few years ago by Kathy Longest Wolf. I think you've mentioned Julian Longest from time to time, and I think that was his youngest daughter, if I'm picking up on the right one. Because didn't Julian have 3 children?
Yes.
Okay, he had 2 boys. And
Tony, babe brother, and then a younger daughter.
Kathy was the youngest.
Yeah, both baby,
What was
baby
babe brother's
brother
name?
and Anthony, both of them are passed away now.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Their
How
mother
about-
lived to be 103, I think.
But Daisy was up, I think, maybe a little past 100 when she died.
I think she was 103 when she passed.
Yeah.
And
She's,
she was rather active up until the very last year, Kathy said. So, oh, there's Gordon again. Did anybody else get that picture that Vic?
no, I
So-
didn't.
I know Bob said he didn't. I think what I have to do is send it again, and I'll have to do it to each person because there's just not enough bandwidth for me to do it otherwise. So I think that's what happened. And so it's Bob, do you know Lance Stroud from the Historical Society?
Wayne Stroud.
No, Lance. He's Marengo. He taught over at the new high school for a number of years before he retired, but he grew up in Marengo. Do you know him?
I knew some Strouds over there, but I'm not for sure. That name doesn't ring a bell with me. I knew Mickey and Lynn and Terry.
Aha, yes. Okay, that's a different family. But
Okay.
he's part of the Historical Society. And he would love, if you don't want to, he would love to scan in those pictures because he sends all kinds of pictures of places in Crawford County through his account. And they're always quite interesting. So,
My niece sends a lot on the family and stuff, but I'm not up to that. I can't do much on a computer. And in fact, most of the time Jeremy has to lead me around to get me on this thing. I do well to get the pictures up. I can't send any.
Well, that's why I thought he could, if you'd be interested, I would let him know. And I think he would come over.
Well, he could come over and I would let him look at my pictures, what few that I had.
Oh, I know he'd be very interested. So, Vic, do you know him or not?
I don't, I know some of the Strouds in Marengo area. Of course, I knew Harold and Daryl.
Okay, now you're
Strouds.
talking. Yeah,
But
he's
And May
related.
and
to them.
Faye,
And they,
What'd you say,
and
John?
May and Faye, Harold and Daryl's twin sisters.
Yeah,
Yes, that's the family. Like you say, I know the connection, but I never knew any of them. The part of the Stroud family I knew was the Moons up in Valine. So, is Jeremy going to be on today, or do you know, John?
I kind of doubt he will be. He set it up, but he doesn't seem to participate anymore.
he runs around quite a bit, doesn't he, John?
I'm sorry?
He runs around quite a bit, doesn't he? Does
Well-
he have a job that he
He's going a
runs
lot of
around?
different places. I'm not sure where he is now.
Yeah, I know that it seemed like he was up east the last I heard of him.
Last I heard he was, yeah.
I can never tell what he's up to.
I wanna
Okay.
give
I know.
Jim a
He
second.
did say the last time that he was, since he's gotten his master's in business, he is doing a lot of consulting, which would require him to go. Apparently, he has that ability. He doesn't have anything to tie him down, for what I can tell. So,
Right.
so he can go wherever they want him to go, and I don't think he works for a particular company. He contracts, which to me that makes very nice. If I had to do what he's doing. Getting any snow over there, John?
Yeah, we got some snow. We got snowboarders and skiers up on the mountain.
So there, but you're not, what are they, typhoons? You've not been affected by that, I guess.
Oh, we have hurricanes now and then, but not in the wintertime.
Yeah, the Philippines sure got hit.
Oh, my goodness. I guess they did.
now, John, did I read or see in the news that someone fell in one of your volcanic craters in Hawaii and
Yeah.
died?
Yeah, does happen. They go into the Park Service tapes all those areas off, stay behind here, and people pay no attention to them. Cross over and get over close to the edge and then do something silly and fall. So we lose a few people that way. It's kind of a trade. If you build a fence and nobody can go it off, that ruins the experience for everybody.
Yeah.
Then if you leave it up to individual judgment, then some people have pretty bad judgment.
They do, yeah. Now, when I was in Indonesia back in 1970, I met a college student, a young fellow, and he said he could speak pretty good English. And he said, "Do you want to go see an active volcano?" And I said, "Yes." So we were in a Jeep and we bounced up a mountain trail. We finally then climbed up to the edge of the active volcano. Now, there was no hot lava at all. But I looked down there and you could probably fit 20 or 30 football fields down in the bottom of it. And I looked and I said, "Wait a minute, I see people down there." He said, "You can go down if you have a guide." He said, "Do you want to go down?" Well, what do you think Vic Megenity from English, Indiana said? I said, "Yes, I want to go down." So he led, there were three of us, another fellow from California was with me. We went down a little trail and he said, now you follow me and you'll be okay. So we went past big ash heaps of steam and smoke pouring out. He said, now you don't want to walk over there. He pointed a few meters to the left. He said, an American died there last year. He walked over there and it's real soft material. We walked way out through there and then came back, and I'll live to tell about it, by gollies. There wasn't any red hot lava.
But there was no freight train, right?
So what?
But there was no freight train down there, right?
No freight train down there in the bottom of that volcano.
No.
But I thought, how many people from Crawford County have ever been down inside an active volcano? Well, I know one. That's probably about all. Would I do it now? I don't know. Doubt it.
I've walked on a volcano that's has a new enough lava that's hardened on the top so you can walk on it.
Oh,
But it's so hot, I got a little bit concerned. I thought, well, if I fall down, I'm going to be sitting on this hot stuff. It's too hot to touch. So I turned around and went back. And as I went back, I passed an area where I could look under, because there were some cracks and everything. I could look under the area that I was walking on. And boy, there was red lava 6 inches below my feet.
wow.
So I decided the Park Service knew what they were talking about.
Yep.
Walk out there.
That, I got a thing. Had the deal on there, Marengo Big Springs Old Town Church. They put out a pamphlet and everything, and it had one picture in there. I think maybe Vic could give us a tale on the fire escape they had in the English school. Can
Oh,
you
yeah.
look at that? You have something to go along with that, don't you?
Oh, yes, sure.
I figure, tell us that tale.
Now, Bob, is it true that back 50 or more years ago, somebody took a buggy apart Halloween and put it up on the roof and put it back together again?
That sounds like too much work. I wouldn't know anybody that would do that.
Well, it wasn't that high. I can see why. And you got to realize too, when you're talking buggy, those things, some of them are not all that. I mean, you look at a horse and buggy and put the wheels up there. You get up there pretty easy, couldn't you?
Well, I don't know.
Now, I'm talking in front of the school. One time we put the JC sign up there
Oh,
as you walked in there. That's big. Had another deal in there. They say this is Zine Hicks's building before anything was built. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
okay. Yeah. Now, where is it located?
That was right next to the creek there. That after you passed the monument shop, it was before Doc's and Cecil's built their place there. And Zine Hicks's were there. She had lived there and everything. She had a little restaurant. That's where John got his guest watched.
Well, was that the Milo Bennett line type school at one time, John Flanigan?
I'm still not sure what we're looking at.
The Zine Hicks's building. It was right next to the creek after you passed the monument shop.
Next to the Royal Blue Cafe.
Yeah,
Right
it was
after
before,
Hangers.
it was before they built the Royal
No,
Blue Cafe
no, the
and Miss
line of-
Maggie's.
No, the Linotype School was, I think it was there when I was in the military, so I'm not real familiar with it. But that was in the place where Bill,
Oh, that was there when we were
Restaurant.
kids. That was before they built Doc's and Cecil's and Miss Maggie's.
Okay.
Finally moved the Linotype machine where Miss Maggie's was. But
Yeah,
that just was across the creek there.
the old newspaper shop was there before they built the new building over next to.
Well, that was on the other side of the creek. When they moved it down from where it's next to the Green Lantern and moved it down there, and then they bought the building where Claude Duggins had a meat shop. And they
Right.
used that for storage. And
Because
Seeds
that-
was right across the creek there, right across the road.
because that building that Doug and Teddy's Meat Shop was built originally as a bandstand for the band.
Yeah, that was right across from the theater there.
Every Saturday, Miss Blake would bring the band down there and they'd have a band concert on the street.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty
Yeah,
neat.
Blake had a heck of a band.
Oh yeah, that was fun. I remember when they competed and in their class, I think it was class D because of the size of the school, but they won their class in Indianapolis. And on the way back, they stopped the bus up above the community building. Well, there wasn't any community building yet, but in there, and they got out and they marched into town playing the music that they had won. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. And it was pretty late at night too.
Yeah, I don't remember that, but yeah, probably was.
Oh, yeah. Well, they didn't have any basketball then, and everybody was in the band.
Right.
And Blake, she was a tough music teacher.
Oh boy, was she ever. I wrote a little essay about like how she kept me disciplined. It was pretty good. Maybe I would have posted to you guys. Would you like to see it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that after we get done here.
Yeah, I know we had, was under Gordon Dickerson in the 6th and 7th grade. And some of the guys didn't want to take music. They would come in and they'd have you sing and stuff. And so Gordon Dickerson was teacher. He talked to S.A. Bills. And S.A. said, well, the boys don't want to take it. They'll have to study. So when Blake come in, she says, rapped the desk and says, get your music books out. She looked at, I think Fred Tucker maybe, and Fred, where's your music books? Well, don't have it. What do you mean you don't have it? Gordon said we didn't have to take this. We didn't want to. And man, Blake reeled out of there. She went upstairs and I guess she built S.A. a new one.
Whoa.
But she didn't hesitate.
No, she was a tough one. No, I'll post that. I hope you enjoy reading it. It's pretty good.
I want to ask everybody that's old enough to remember that exclude Mr. Eades, I think, but I remember a parade coming through English about 1942. And in that parade, Bob Roberts and John Flanigan especially, I think they had a miniature Japanese submarine in the parade. Remember that at all?
I did not.
They had captured it at Pearl Harbor. Now, did I dream that? I'm pretty sure I saw it.
I don't remember it.
I don't remember
I
that.
don't remember that, huh?
What were you drinking, Vic?
I don't know. I was about 8 years old, so it wasn't much probably.
I don't remember that at all.
Okay.
I remember hearing about it because through the VFW spoke of it.
Okay. Maybe it's really true. Maybe I didn't dream it.
No, you didn't dream it.
I think they did capture one of the miniature submarines, a Japanese miniature submarine, like a 2 or 3 person submarine. It's very small,
Yeah.
about the
You
size
remember-
of a semi truck.
Evelyn, it would have been Rickenbaugh. You remember Evelyn? What was her husband's name?
Homer.
He was, Homer.
Homer.
Homer, and then there was Edison. Yeah, he was the one that would talk about stuff like that.
Oh,
So that's
Well, he was
where-
commander there at the VFW for a while, back just about that time.
Yes. But he also, even if he wasn't commander, he had a pretty, the presence that he had there was, like you say, he pretty well held it together and everything, so.
now I want to ask Bob Roberts or John or anybody else that might remember. Was there early on at New Albany High, at English High School, an outhouse down by the bank before you get to the creek? Was there an outhouse?
That was our target every Halloween.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so there was. I'm not dreaming that, am I?
No,
No,
there were
Oh,
two,
yeah,
a
yeah, they had,
boys one and a girls one.
So
Girls
Vic, you're 2 for 2 today.
I guess girls were on one side and boys were on the other. Were there two separate buildings for the outhouse?
They were separate.
yeah. Mhm.
Okay,
It's just two separate deals on the playgrounds too. One of them was the girls' side and the other was the boys' side.
yeah.
And they knew you were coming, so when I came around, it was brick.
Couldn't push that
Because
over.
that was your ball field. Because, like say, getting in the gym, you couldn't do it all the time.
Yeah, but Eade, you didn't go to school in the old red brick building, did you?
What are you talking about? The 2-story one
Yeah.
up there behind the new high school, as I call it? Oh, yeah. We had
Yeah.
all 8 grades there.
Oh, okay, but you didn't go to high school there, did you?
No, I never did.
Okay.
But, like I say, that was no, when you were talking about putting that buggy up on the roof, I had a fellow at Farmington who put a motorcycle on top of the roof of their building.
Oh,
And boy, let me tell you something. What was kind of funny about it was the police in the town helped him do it.
oh my
And so
gosh.
he, but the superintendent wasn't too happy about it at the time. I thought it was kind of neat myself. So they told me I could take it down if I wanted to. And I said, well, if he put it up there, he'll take it down. So, and he did. I mean, he just did it out of fun. But he was a good kid, but he definitely he could certainly, he had a yin to go on ahead and push buttons anywhere he wanted to go. But so he's been rather successful in his life. But again, that was a senior prank. So it was just before he graduated.
you're all talking about putting things on top of the high school here in Herndon, Virginia. They put a Volkswagen Beetle on the roof of the
Oh,
school.
boy.
They also, in the fall of every year, they turned some pigs loose in the hallways.
Oh, my.
They used to do a lot of that here. But then they got to the point where the high schools were new and everything. So they said they stopped it. Is what they did. Because it definitely was damaging. I mean, it was never anything that was really bad, but it did. It just was a lot of wear and tear. So they did stop it here. But I can't imagine it lasting up to it lasted up to in the year 2000. So, but again, it was a small high school here. So
Gordon Husk, what's been going on up your way, up around Lebanon, Indiana?
Oh, just the usual things.
Yeah.
Yeah. I crossed another threshold. I bought hearing aids the other day.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I
that
think I think you can get them at Walmart now for $19.95. Is that where you got yours?
no, I fell for the more expensive ones that
Okay.
you can control with your phone and all that.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
thought 1995 was pretty expensive. I only paid $1,700 for mine.
Did you?
Oh.
I think Costco has a friend of mine said that he paid $13.99 for his at Costco and he likes them. But I went for the Bell Tone and it's about $5,000. But my Medicare supplement paid part of it. It would have been $6,500, but it was $5,000.
that's what I ran into. So I said I didn't need a hearing aid. So anybody wants to talk to me, they're going to have to either write it down if I can't understand it.
Well, you can learn the American Sign Language, that works.
I don't know. I don't know whether you see this or not or anything, but can you see anything there in that picture?
I think you need to back it off a little bit, Bob. We just see a part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
I
Something's
just,
right.
I just took that picture in my driveway that I had some seeds scattered out there for the birds, and those 3 deer were out there eating the things. I just saw them walk up a while ago.
Oh, I think that
So
bright thing there was the flash reflected off the window, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. And I had to take it through the window because I'd go out to take off.
Yeah.
But there was 3 of them. I got a couple of them in there. I just thought you guys would like that, the wild animals that runs around English anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there were several wild animals. I remember, Bob, when we were growing up down there.
Oh, yeah. I remember when they released the first deer and stuff. That
Yeah,
was back in
deer-
the early 30s.
Yeah.
That guy by the name of, it was before Russ Walls came. There's Harry something there. Harry Vogelsong was game warden there for a while.
Yeah.
This was before Harry. He stayed around Opal Brown's, had a room up there upstairs.
When the linotype young men came into town, they usually found rooms with some of the families in English, didn't they?
Yes, Maureen, my mother-in-law, kept one, and then Esther Roberts, my sister-in-law,
Yeah.
kept one. But
Alpha
they
Bell used to
stayed.
keep a bunch. Alpha Bell used to keep a bunch.
Bell, yeah. I wonder if they got food. Back in those days, sometimes you got room and board, which meant you got your meals there too.
Yeah, I think maybe I don't know whether they fed them all the time or not, but I think occasionally they would feed the boys. They were away from home, all of them young men and stuff, and they probably didn't have a lot of money to eat at the restaurants.
Probably not.
I think Esther fed them. She charged them for it, but
Yeah.
she was very reasonable.
My sister Phyllis married Bob Ramsey, who went to that school.
Who's that?
My sister Phyllis married Bob Ramsey when he was
Okay.
going to the linotype school.
Uh-huh.
And Dolores Edelman married one of the linotype boys. Dolores Edelman. Now, I wonder how, John Flanigan, are you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay, I wonder how many linotype schools there were in the United States back in the 40s and 50s.
I have no idea, but there wouldn't have been very many.
No, I bet not.
Maybe just that one.
Yeah.
I think maybe there were one more someplace. I know we went down to Lexington, Kentucky. My brother had a 1.5-ton truck, pick up a linotype machine and bring it back. And that's when
That's a heavy machine to haul in a ton of
it is. It was a 1.5-ton truck and stuff, and that's when the linotype school was behind the JC store.
Yes.
Right. That's where it finally ended up. That's where it was most of the time until Mary gave it away.
Yeah. And I know we had it there for a while, but when Miss Maggie moved out where her dress shop was.
Now, John, did you learn to use the linotype machine? I think you did, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
I thought
Mike
so.
was a star though. My brother Mike was a star. He taught it himself,
Yeah.
and it became his vocation, which led him into very good things. He was really sharp. I was terrible at it. I was not capable of keeping my mind on what I was doing. I was always making mistakes and fucking the machine up. It was the wrong job for me. But Mike really took to it. He was good at it.
Did Robert O. Longus take the school and do linotyping?
Robert O. did take the school and ended up working at the Democrat.
I thought he did, yeah.
Now, did Robert O do anything on the machines at later in life, or does anybody know?
I tell you, anything that he went at, he played a trumpet in a band, and we lived next door to them. And he practiced every day.
Oh, boy.
And also, when he was taking typing in high school, he took typing, and I think he could knock out about 85 or 90 words a minute.
Boy.
I know I got about 50 or maybe 55 after I'd taken it 2 years.
And that was not on an electric typewriter, was it?
No, that was on those old Royals and Remingtons they had down in the basement.
My brother-in-law, Ernest Condra, was so good at typing that when he went in the Army down at Fort Knox, they made him a typing instructor
Oh,
in the Army. He could type over 100 words a minute.
oh, my goodness.
Well, on there, the keys were blocked out, but they had a thing up in front there on the board you could look at and see. But you couldn't look down and see what it was. They were all just white covers on them.
Right.
But a lot of people learned to type and stuff like that. And I know I had a job with the railroad, and if I hadn't had the typing, I would have got the job and stuff.
I took typing in high school, and it saved me from getting bad duty in the Army.
It helps you out.
Job in the Army because I didn't have to take training in typing, but another fellow went in with me, took the typing course in the Army, then took some kind of a traveling thing in the Army. He ended up as a driver in London. Not only did that happen, but he had a much older brother that married an English girl, brought her to the States after the war. She didn't like it, so he took her back to England. He lived the rest of his life in England. We got to visit his brother, all that.
Was a lot of people got a good education in English high school.
Yeah.
And they had some good teachers up there too, with S.A. Bills and Bill Beasley and Miss Hobson.
Yeah. Marie Goodwin, Miss Marie,
Miss Marie,
Helen
Miss
Temple,
Dick Blevins.
Dick Blevins, yeah. I remember Dick Blevins wore a wristwatch, and one day he said, "See this wristwatch? I took it off a dead German soldier in World War I." That's what he said. Now, I guess he was in World War I.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, and then you could always look around the waist can over there and everything. There's be a little bit of amber. I think Dick chewed a little bit when he talked.
Didn't Irwin Farr also wasn't he in World War I?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No.
I thought he and Dick Blevins kind of worked together with military, but it could be Mr. Farr was just interested in Dick Blevins.
Yeah, I don't think maybe Irvin was quite old enough for World War I.
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
No.
I have a first cousin that's 10 years younger than I am. His grandfather fought in the Civil War.
How about that?
My great grandfather was killed in the Civil War.
Oh, really?
We had a neighbor there.
Peterson. He was buried at Memphis. He was a Peterson. He was my great grandma, my great grandmother's father.
Anybody remember Washington?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he lived next door to us, John.
Right, and he fought in the Spanish-American War.
Yeah, There
He
was
was
several Spanish-American War guys living, when we were kids.
My
My
granddad,
wife,
And
my
Kurt,
wife's grandfather fought in the Spanish-American War.
my grandfather, George Megenity, he was on his way to Cuba when the war ended. So he didn't get in any battles or anything like that, but he was in at that time.
and Kurt Leeser, who lived right next to us, right next to my grandparents, he was an engineer on the Panama Canal.
Oh, boy.
So we
I
had a lot
remember
of
people
history.
talking about that one.
We had a lot of history around us. We didn't
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I'm a vice president of the Floyd County Historical Society, and we have meetings approximately once a month. And I look at the average age there's usually about 50 people show up. Average age is probably 70 plus. People don't get interested in history until they're older. Why is that, John?
Well, I could only speculate, but it's because we don't know what it is until we get older.
That's about right.
We get older, we start having some history of our own and
Right.
see
Yeah.
what the discussions have been of things that happened when we were younger, and it makes
Yeah.
us interested.
Right before I retired from 43 years of teaching, the last year I taught, one 8th grade girl in the front row raised her hands and said, Mr. Megenity, I think I know why you like teaching U.S. history so much. And I said, well, why is that? Well, you've lived through most of it. That's what she said. And I got to thinking, she's got
Well,
something, and some truth to that. And
Well,
then another girl, that's 4 or 5 years before that, raised her hand and said, oh, Mr. Megenity, you used to date my grandmother. And I said, what? I said, now I've got older brothers. You're probably getting mixed up. Oh, no, my grandmother said it was Victor. So I asked who her grandmother was, and it's true. I had a few days with her. I don't remember her name now, though.
Uh-oh.
Thank goodness.
well, I talk about
Now
that.
you've got it. Now you'll have to remember and tell us.
Yeah.
How many of us were in the Navy?
Well, I know Gordon Husk was Naval Reserves. Vic Megenity was Naval Reserves. Bob Roberts was regular Navy, weren't you, Bob?
Yeah, it's regular Navy.
Yeah.
I tried to join the
John?
Navy, but it was their list was full, so I ended up in the Air Force.
But there was a lot of us.
Bob, where'd you take your boot camp training?
Sampson, New York.
New
I thought
York.
it was going to Great Lakes. I'd enlisted in Louisville.
Yeah.
And they took Sampson, New York. It's up there where the Five Finger Lakes were.
Oh, yeah.
And
Bob,
we-
that's funny, because that's where I took my basic training.
it did.
Sampson.
Sampson.
It wasn't air base when you were there, but yeah,
But, I took mine in 45.
a godforsaken place.
Yeah. But, and that used to be a submarine base. And that's
submarine
probably
base.
what's supposed to be one of the deepest lakes in the United States, Lake Seneca.
I know that.
Did you take rowing classes on Lake Seneca?
No, I didn't do it. I knew about Lake Seneca, but I didn't have to do it. Yeah.
We had a rowing class, and I think it was a 30-foot whaleboat. And I forget this 12 oarsmen. Those oars were 12 feet long, I think. And you'd rear back and come to really going to hit a lick, and the wave would come up, man, it just stopped. Or else it'd go down, you'd miss it. You'd go to the guy's lap that was behind you.
I was there in the winter time, so I doubt that there was much of that going on.
In the wintertime.
Yeah.
That was cold, wasn't it? It was cold in September.
It was cold, and it was uncomfortable. There were no trees. It was pretty miserable. They kept us busy. We didn't have any time to worry about it.
But
I had a
you
guy there
guys,
that-
if you were up on Lake Seneca, though, you were east of the lake, of Rochester, New York, and so that's where a lot of the snow and stuff like that comes through in the winter.
That's
And they
right.
do have extraordinary cold weather up there.
The lake effect.
That's the lake effect, yes. So it's no
I
wonder.
came through there in 45. I was coming from Boston on leave, coming in, and the train I was on, the snow plowed going through the pour, and all you could see on each side
Oh.
of the rail was just snow. You couldn't see any land or anything.
Right.
Mhm.
That whole Finger Lakes area is just beautiful country. All around Elmira and Watkins Glen, all that. Beautiful.
I used to travel through there when I came out to Indiana. I would do the New York Turnpike up through there. Like you say, it is really nice.
In the summer.
You know something? Even in the winter, they clear that out of there. Now, Pennsylvania Turnpike doesn't, they really take care of that New York Thruway. But the Pennsylvania Turnpike, that leaves a lot. That's why I used to go north, even in the winter, because I'd come into Cleveland and go south. That's how I did it. Have I lost?
I've heard a weatherman in Liverpool, New York, say that they had snow flurries, but with accumulations up to 6 inches.
Yeah.
We weather guys don't give statements like that. They just tell stories about it.
Yes.
The
Well,
snow they've been getting out.
our snow
The snow they've been getting
our
out
snow didn't
west.
last long.
The snow they've been getting out west is, like 2 or 3, 36 inches or more, which has amazed me. I think it's out west of Colorado.
Well, up
You
in the,
know,
we can easily get 10 feet of snow in the wintertime.
That's true.
A little-
I think it was 79 that we had drifts here in Crawford County that was 12 feet high.
Drifts are
Yeah.
no-
The roads all blocked.
Now, no, back in,
what we need to sort things out a little bit.
Okay.
Changing the subject, I was going to comment to Bob earlier when he was talking about old pictures. I've got a bunch of pictures still on my old, on my SmugMug site. And I could give, was it Tim that said that you knew somebody who was scanning pictures and keeping?
yeah,
I tried to get on it. I never could, but yeah, I was talking about going to Lance Stroud, or
Yeah.
I won't go to him, but I'll email him.
Well, you say you've been on my site there?
I tried to get on, I couldn't, but again, my system isn't up to date.
Well,
So-
if you give him the address and tell him that he's got my permission to use any of those pictures he wants. They're all in high.
Oh,
high-
really?
They're
they're
very
all
good,
in definition.
very good pictures too, John.
yeah.
Yes, they are. You've got some really good ones.
Thank you. I've got some more of them going to put on too, but I haven't got around to it yet.
Yeah, when Jeremy was showing that stuff, that was fascinating to me.
Good. Yeah.
It seems as though I have a little pictures when you were taking vacation up in Alaska.
Oh my.
Remember that, John?
What? When I was taking vacation in Alaska.
Yeah, you were on a boat up there.
Oh, when we took a
Yeah.
boat up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was part of the pictures that you sent me a long, long time ago.
Okay. We took a helicopter up to the glacier and walked around.
They were interesting.
Yeah, that was a very interesting trip.
I'd like to go to Alaska again. I really enjoyed that.
We
What-
went up with the coral group. And there was
When
a,
were you in Alaska? Fui. Who just said, Gordon, when were you in Alaska?
We were there in 2000.
Oh, so that's been recent.
Well, 22 years.
22 years ago. Yeah, that's recent.
Isn't that's recent, I'm
By our
afraid.
standards, by us old men standards.
Marion and I went, and my brother Frank and his wife Vicky were with us. We had a wonderful time there.
Well, I'm going to have to go, but before I go, I just wanted to say that I was thinking of Mark today. So I know it's been a year. And so, Vic, I just let you know we did mention him and everything when I was there in December. And
Yeah,
I know you miss him, but
sure do. Yeah.
Lord bless, God bless. Okay.
Well, thank you very much. I ordered a tombstone for him just a couple of weeks ago at Marengo, so that should be set in the coming weeks.
Okay. So, but thinking about you and your family.
I
Okay.
appreciate that, Tim, very much. Thank you for the comment there.
And I'm going to have to go. You all take care. Now you can talk about me any way you want. So there
Okay.
you go.
Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. I was talking to my daughter today. In the last 10 years, almost my entire family has been wiped out. My sister Sherry, Bob, Doug, of course, my mother about 10 years ago, my son, Patrick, and my ex-wife just passed away about 3 or 4 months ago. So it's been kind of a rough period the last few years.
You're the last leaf upon the tree.
Yeah.
There's 2 of us left, my baby sister, and she was 92 last month.
Yeah. She still lives in Georgetown, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now she gave me some pictures about 10 years ago, pretty good pictures from English, and I've still got them. So I'll try to get those on the website, see if we can.
I lost Marion 6 years ago, and 1 year later, I started losing sisters. I lost 3 sisters in 13 months.
Oh boy.
Oh my.
Yeah,
It hurts.
it does. And if we stay around long enough, that's exactly what happens.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. But you have good family memories,
Yeah, you do. You sure do.
things that happened through your lifetime.
Yeah.
It's
I
getting-
never could get that Roberts family straightened out. There were half brothers and step brothers and half sisters and
No, I didn't have any stepbrothers. It's all half brothers.
half brothers. Okay.
Yeah, but I had a half brother on my mother's side, 6 half brothers on my father's
Yeah.
side, and a half sister on there, and then I had 2 real sisters.
And Clyde Roberts told me that he said, well, it may be good news, bad news, Vic, but said we're related. He showed his family history. That's been probably 30 years or more ago. And there was a Nancy Roberts. It's my great, maybe 3 great grandmothers back, and that's his great grandmother. He said, and he did say this, Bob. He said, now Bob knows where she's buried. Now, do you know Bob?
Who was it? Barry?
Nancy Roberts.
Nancy Roberts.
Nancy. She died about 1880. So we didn't know her, but we knew of her.
What was her maiden name,
Well, I think that was her maiden name, Roberts. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
they came in Orange County over there, Greenfield Township. Probably the Lowells came there and around 1818. And the Robertses came in there in about 1855.
Okay.
But I'll have to do a little research on that.
Well,
I sometime would come up with some different deals.
I wonder who got Clyde's genealogy material.
I gave what I had to Scott Eastridge,
Okay,
and Scott has it. He said he's pretty interested in it.
okay, good, good.
Stuff that,
Now, how's Scott Eastridge been doing?
he's been doing fine and everything. He got married this last year.
Oh, he did.
Oh, yeah, and stuff.
And how about Joe Nan? Wasn't that her name, Joe Nan?
Joe Nan,
Yeah.
she died.
Did she die?
Yes, she had an awful time of it and stuff.
Oh,
But,
boy.
she was a very nice looking girl. She could have
Yes,
been a
she
model,
was.
I guess.
Yes, she was. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Yeah. She has two sons and a daughter that graduated from IU
Oh, okay.
and things, and they were up and married. I think one of them has a couple of kids, lives in California.
Yeah.
Stuff that I kind of keep track of them through Scott.
Sure. And Scott had a brother too, didn't he?
Yeah, Kevin.
Kevin, that's right. He's the oldest one, isn't he?
Yeah, he went to IU also. All of them, Bud's kids went to IU. Joe Nan and Scott and Laura, Kevin. And I heard from Laura the other day, she said they was up watching Indiana beat Ohio State. But she just retired from teaching. She lives in Evansville. Well, I guess we're gonna have to say goodbye. We're running out of time.
Well, Bob,
Yeah.
hold the fort down there at English, Indiana. Good old English. We always remember English, that's for sure.
That's for sure.
After I sign off, I'm going to send that story about Miss Blake to you guys. So you can let me know next time what you thought.
Okay. All right,
Okay,
John.
John.
Take
And
care, everybody.
put your winter
Okay.
clothing away, John. It's going to stay warm in
Oh,
Hawaii.
it's put away. I don't know
Okay.
where I'd find it.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
care.
Bye, man.
Right now.
See you later.
Yeah.